This evening, we finally got to see a debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and you will not believe how bad it went. At least, how bad it went for Trump. From incoherent ranting to yelling for no reason and trying to take every single question to immigration, Trump's performance was far different from what we've seen before. And from the very beginning, Kamala Harris had command of the stage. In this video, we will look at how these candidates conducted themselves, how Harris was able to shut down Trump's previously strong presence in a debate, and what sort of message they each want to present to the American people. This was a very heated debate, so stay tuned to watch these two go head to head and see how they ended the debate speaking to the American people. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. So from the very start, Harris showed Trump who would be running the show tonight, nearly forcing him to look her in the eyes and shake her hand. Take a look.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
And very quickly, they jumped into bigger issues facing Americans. Take a look at how Harris shuts down Trump's ranting about abortion and his support for state and national bans.
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade, and as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And understand what has been happening under Donald Trump's abortion bans. Couples who pray and dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. What is happening in our country? Working people, working women who are working 1 or 2 jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to another state to get on a plane sitting next to strangers to go and get the health care she needs. Barely can afford to do it, and what you are putting her through is unconscionable. And the people of America have not, the majority of Americans believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, and that is why in every state where this issue has been on the ballot, in red and blue states both, the people of America have voted for freedom.
Kamala Harris certainly spoke clearly and strongly. She also was able to speak better to the American people and trip up the former president. After addressing border security, Harris ended her speech with a jab at the incoherence of Trump when speaking at rallies. This very brief comment led the former president into a long rant about crowd sizes. He literally wasted his whole rebuttal time talking about crowd sizes instead of talking about immigration, his biggest issue. Just take a look at this.
People start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so, that would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border?
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation.
This cycle of baiting Trump into unintelligible rabbit holes gave Harris full control of the stage. We got 90 minutes of Harris presenting her plan for the future, and we got Trump running in circles complaining about the past. Even in their closing arguments, this pattern continued. In a time for the candidates to emphasize their message to the American people, take a look at how each candidate began their statements.
President Harris, we begin with you.
So I think you've heard tonight 2 very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past, and an attempt to take us backward. But we're not going back. And I do believe that the American people know we all have so much more in common than what separates us, and we can chart a new way forward.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump?
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
Kamala Harris jumped right into discussing unity and finding common ground for the American people, while Trump instead continued his unending attacks and complaining. After a long night of discussing what he needs to do to finish campaign promises from 9 years ago, Trump has the audacity to complain that Biden and Harris didn't get enough done in 4 years. This inability to look forward, bring people together, and focus on the needs of the American people most certainly cost Trump this debate. And it may very well cost him the election as well. If you haven't seen the debate, be sure you go watch it for yourselves, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more updates.